Cool.
What up, y'all? Happy Money Monday.
What's
Great
up?
week.
First day of fall
I gotta
yesterday.
get yeah.
Wait, we got the Amex Plat back. I just noticed.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
put
think
up to
you had it
block the
last
wires
week
a
too.
little
Did
bit.
you have it
right?
last
Did you
week?
have it last week, man?
I think so. Yeah, I put it up to try
I'm
and
just
block the
tripping
wires
then.
a bit because I didn't feel like doing anything else with the wires.
Smart.
Okay, but we're
Do
settled.
you have wires at your back at your parents' crib?
Huh?
Like the sign you have at your parents' crib, like your old crib, not your parents' crib, but your last house, Warner.
Yeah, it's hidden behind the soundproofing.
Oh, that makes sense. I was gonna say, 'cause, like I put it up, but I was like, wait, I've seen Warner sign 1,000 times. I never noticed wires.
What up, Eric? What up, Pete? Alex? Easy Brush. Hello, Seller World. Is that a parody of OJ Simpson on Twitter? If it is, then that is a great one.
Banter. What up, Corey? How you doing, dude?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Nice of you to join us.
Yes, sir.
Woke up from your afternoon nap.
Afternoon chat now.
No naps here. No naps.
You
Yeah.
say
Don't
that
nap
like you
around
don't
these parts.
take lots of naps.
I don't take any naps ever. I never nap. Not a napper. Never have been.
What up, Armand? Yeah, so let us know what Amazon questions you guys got that we can answer coming into Q4. So it's important that we're all dialed in. Make sure you got those lists of stuff that you see spiking up in price, starting to ramp too. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we got a Corey fan in here. That's what's up. What's up? Oh my gosh, Lionel Messi himself.
Yeah, Messi fan.
Oh my gosh.
Messi pick.
See, yeah, okay, very, very good. What's up, Pete? Cool. Yeah. So, guys, whatever questions y'all got, let us know. We love helping you guys grow your operations here. It's a great day, September 23rd, a week till Q4 starts, and about 7 weeks till the really, really good part of Q4 starts specifically. So let's see here. What if the product I find is not on a website to ungate, but there's different models of the same brand on Target, however, they are not profitable? There's a very good chance that whatever website you found them good on will work for ungating if it's any sort of like big retailer in 2024. Or you could just buy that other size on Target if you're ever worried about it, which generally will be a waste of time. But you can, if you're worried about the ungating, you can do that if you want. And then just sell break even basically.
I got a big one that's racking my brain. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it, Pete.
Do it.
Let's hear it. Absolutely. Cool. Sweet Grand Rising. Yes, sir. Cool. Yeah, Corey, you missed that obvious play I called out 2 weeks ago. We're already up 10% on it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what you were talking about. You also misspelled it too. So I was like,
He said, I did not tell Corey. I did not give Corey the play.
You have been talking about it for a few. I've heard you talk about it before.
Cool. Sweet. That's what's up. So you locked down a big grocery distributor, Corey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. So what does that look like for anyone who might want to do wholesale? Like, what does that dynamic look like specifically?
Yeah, so we had reached out to, or actually someone in our network had reached out to us. They have a connection to this very large grocery distributor, one of the biggest in the country, publicly traded, very legit, authorized, all the good stuff. And basically, we're going to be buying through, like, from him, who's buying from this distributor. We've got that full paper trail, full supply chain back to the brand. And basically, people can go through the catalog and kind of order what it is that they want. We have everything shipped to one place, one prep center. It gets prepped and it goes out from there. So pretty straightforward. We got a lot of good stuff already that we've identified from that supplier.
Cool. Sweet. Okay. Sounds good. I recently learned that Target can ban customers for placing multiple repeat orders. Unfortunately, I found out after placing several orders last night, it's not canceled. Am I still good? Yes. In general, one of the main things a lot of beginners are afraid of is order cancels. However, in many cases, those aren't the kind of thing where they're not beatable, essentially. On Target, you might be able to beat them with gift cards. Target is a site that does order cancel heavily. It's not going to be a part of your long-term strategy as an online arbitrage seller, most likely because of that specifically. But yeah, in general, a ton of wealth is lost worrying about cancels, and would not recommend worrying about them too much and like causing you to buy less inventory. Basically, you're much better off keeping it moving and dealing with them as they come, because that's going to compound your skill and knowledge faster, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of those sites will forget you though. So like on your spreadsheet where you have the website you've sourced from, the best coupon you see them offer, also write down like the last time you ordered from, if it's a cancel heavy site, and I'll go back after 2, 4, 6 weeks depending on the website. A lot of times you'll get another couple grand through.
It's a very, very good point.
Is the food category lucrative? I mean, all categories are lucrative, right? There's opportunity within all categories. It just depends on your pricing, the relationship with the supplier. The cool thing I will say about grocery is that typically most of the listings cannot be returned, which inherently adds the bottom line just a bit. You don't have to worry about any dead cap hits and stuff like that. But it doesn't make sense a whole lot to differentiate.
Wait, what was that? You don't have to worry about what?
Dead cap hits. It's a sports thing.
Oh,
Like,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. That was a crazy. That was a crazy.
Yeah, we almost let that slip. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. That's a crazy rural Connecticut take right there. But hey, we're not gonna deny it. What you got for us?
And somebody else asked me that exact question today: is grocery a good category? And so my opinion on it is, if you're doing your own prep, right? That's why you see a lot of these big mega sellers doing grocery, because the average sale price in the grocery category is a lot lower. So if you're selling a $13, $14, $15 grocery product, unless you're doing your own prep, it's just going to be pretty expensive. Like if you're paying a prep center to do that prep for you, it eats up a lot of your profit. So great category, but it's better suited for somebody who's got a really low prep cost.
But inherently that creates a moat, right? Because you're eliminating a ton of competition that uses prep centers, right? If it costs, if it's selling for $9.99, you're making $1.20 profit. It's not likely that you can afford or would want to pay a prep center a half of that, right? 60, 50, 80 cents, something like that. So you're going to eliminate some competition just simply based on the low sales price, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
It's facts right there. Ooh, here we go. I have a question. On a variation, it has monthly sold on the chart. Is the monthly sold shown for all variations or a specific listing? Specific listing, my friend. Specific listing. You'll notice if you change the variation, the monthly sold is going to change right there too.
Corey, what's the KD ratio?
Yeah, what's the KD? That's very important.
I don't know. I haven't even looked. I haven't looked at
that
doesn't know his own numbers. He doesn't know his numbers.
Really
not dialed in.
I don't know my KPIs. Yeah,
bro, check your Voxum. Like we've been over this, bro. Check your Voxum analytics. Come on, check your Voxum analytics right there. Is Voxum okay for beginners, or should I do a few orders on Amazon first, getting ready to list first products when I get off work? Dude, honestly, Alex, you might as well do it from the easy way from the get go. Amazon Seller Central is confusing. I've had a couple people I've been talking to recently that they've gone in to list their first listing on Amazon Seller Central and been unbelievably overwhelmed by all the options on there when low key two of them are required. But Voxum's gonna not show any of the bullshit that's not required basically. Onto that. So yeah, Alex, I'd say use Voxum here.
It's also just so intuitive.
Well, I just couldn't imagine being a new seller in 2024 and having to go into the Seller Central workflow and try to figure out how to create a new FBA shipment from scratch today. When I first did it back in 2017, it was so much easier, so much more straightforward then. Today, it's like
tuning into a sequel that you didn't watch.
It's insane. It's crazy.
You're joining the middle of a season.
Do we submit questions in the chat? Yeah, just type in questions.
Yeah, Pete had a good question up here. Let's see. For example, I buy 10 widgets at a store for $5 a piece. Let's imagine they are standard size. I could sell all of them on Amazon for $7 or something like that. If I sell, I have to pay. If I sell on the FBM, I have to pay $5 to $7 in shipping per item. Yeah. So Pete, you wouldn't it wouldn't make sense to buy something for $5 and sell it for $7. If you're buying it for $5 and if it's selling for $7, you're paying 75 cents for it and FBAing it every time and making 50 cents, for example, which is a very isolated example that you're probably not going to do if you're a beginner. A way more realistic breakdown of an item is FBA, for example, would be buying for 10, selling for 24, making $4.50, or FBMing that item. It would be buying for 10, selling for 24, paying $5 for shipping, $4 for shipping, but not paying the FBA fees, which end up being pretty much the same as the FBA fees, right? Or which ends up being about the same as the shipping cost basis. So when you FBA, you do pay FBA fees, but you don't pay individual shipping. When you FBM, you don't pay FBA fees, but you do pay individual shipping, which are both based on size and weight and are pretty much the same thing. So the numbers pretty much equal each other. A good rule of thumb is for something to be profitable, you need to sell it for double or more on Amazon. And on the cheaper items, Warner brought this up last week, it's more like 1/3, for example.
Yeah. And Toby had a good question here earlier. So he said, Corey, how would you approach a brand on LinkedIn to start a conversation to eventually pitch exclusivity? So I prefer just to get a foot in the door and try to just become an authorized retailer. So I would just find a decision maker for the brand on LinkedIn, either the owner or somebody up there in sales, and just really just send them a connection request saying, hey, my name's Corey. I own a retail business looking to buy your products at Wholesale, the whole spiel, and try to get in their world that way. And then after you've done a couple of orders with them, start asking them questions to get them to understand that they've got a problem on Amazon, right? Hey, why is it that you guys have 15 different people selling your products on Amazon? Or why is it that you guys don't have a brand storefront, right? And then asking them these questions and then positioning yourself as the person to kind of help them there.
Yep. That's such a good point though, because so much money is lost by simply ending your like process of opening accounts just with like the general template, right? Just like filling out their
just like you're buying and you're selling and you're not.
Yeah.
Like,
just simply in 2024, just filling out the contact us general template's not going to get it done, right? That message gets lobbed in with hundreds of other messages a month. No one's probably going to read it, right? It's not as valuable as Googling sales rep LinkedIn for that company. Now you have an exact person you could reach out to, an email, phone number. You can make a customized, personalized message. And it's going to be way, way more higher conversion.
Yep.
Somebody's asking a good question about product research earlier. How do you start the product research for the first product once you have a good product? It's easy to reverse source. What about finding the first one? Yeah, good insights there. If you need like a starting point, then just look at any of our 3 channels. We've found a bunch of products recently. There's stuff on like Twitter, that kind of stuff you can go off of. Like really, that's not the hard part at all. Find a sale that's going on and dive into a storefront. The biggest thing is just don't expect anything to be profitable at retail price. So if you know a certain brand that's cheap today, then dive into people who are selling that.
ATL Jack, I know any niche can be successful, but wholesale was the most reliable niche to inventory wise. First step, I would look in your catalog, see if you have any brands, right? So small to medium sized brands that aren't like the Nikes of the world, and reach out to them, right? Because the cool thing with those is you have data, right, that suggests how many you can sell a month, particular price point that you're looking for, right? And you have some like tangible evidence that it works, those products work, and you can approach that sales rep and say, hey, been selling your product, for X amount of months, sell about this many per month. If you potentially sell it for me for X price, I can buy X more. Something like that. It's very strategic, very customized. They know you've been in the business. They know you know what you're talking about. That's an easy way in, right? Apart from that, like all the big ones, grocery, probably would stay away from beauty, just with all the Section 3 stuff going on, tool, automotive, office products. I mean, you name it. Any sort of category will work.
Okay, when I was saying I could send all items into FBA for like yeah, okay, so you're right. Yeah, I didn't really get kind of the question you were saying, but yes. But it's going to largely be the same thing. When you find a winning product, you just rinse and repeat sales until there's too much competition. If it's a good winning product, there's never too much competition if it's well protected behind different discounting complications. But for the most part, when you're a newer seller, you're going to deal with listings where other people are going to hop on naturally because you're not great at product research yet. That takes a bunch of time. Right there. So yeah.
When's it profitable?
If you haven't necessarily, and don't take this wrong way, but if you haven't necessarily like sold products yet, you're probably going too in the weeds of some of the lesser important factors. Just watch a couple hours of any of our YouTube videos about live sourcing. Start to understand what makes a good product, what makes a bad product, identifiers that suggest maybe a product isn't so stable long term. Really start to get a grasp of the fluency with the Keepa data, and then just start to test some products, right? Buy a couple of products, 5, 10, 15 different ones, list them FBM, and then just kind of iterate from there, right? It's going to be way easier to continue to learn once you have a foot in the door, once you're starting to have a grasp of all the data, all the things, all the terminology, rather than trying to nitpick the mind.
Nope. How much is too much for inventory? Well, hopefully you're generally going to be, man, I wish I would have bought more is the general thing that happens, especially in the early days when you're doing a lot of test orders. You'll make some mistakes and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it'll be, man, I should have bought more than my 10 test unit or my test buy. The biggest thing, like go deep whenever you know is a really kind of good limited sale. So like during Black Friday, I'll be buying way more than a month worth of stock of stuff, but it's like routine, 10, 15% sales. You probably buy, no more than a month at a time.
Yeah, I mean, as a general rule of thumb, Pete, like if you're doing a lot of grocery and you don't have the expiration dates are like too soon, just Sharpie over them, white out over them. Get a piece of tape.
Whoa! Yeah, make your customers sick. That's
somebody
just cover it up as easy as possible, and you're good to go.
Nobody will ever know, right? Somebody asked about staying away from beauty. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? My thoughts are, I feel like these days beauty products are just so easy to counterfeit, and the risk of getting a hold of counterfeit products is high. And if you're a newer seller, even if you're an experienced seller, you get caught, Amazon catches you one time with one bad product or one bad batch, you're going to be completely shut down. So in my opinion, it's just not worth it, especially with Amazon also now starting to just regate a lot of these beauty brands and just make it a lot more difficult to sell in the beauty category. Personally, I'm advising people stay away from it completely.
It's
So
just not
curious
worth
to
it.
hear your
There's just so much
It's-
better, easier money.
Yeah,
stable money.
there's a lot of small brands you can still make money on. It's anything that's owned by L'Oreal or the
that's
big
a caveat.
like look up
if you're
L'Oreal
buying
brands
it,
are getting hard gated, that kind of stuff. So avoid the big parent companies, and there's still a lot of money to be made there.
I mean,
Yeah,
the same
I
rule of
should've-
thumb applies, right? If you're buying from the brand, you're likely
Right.
fine, right?
Yep.
And that applies across any category, across any niche. You want to get as close to the brand as possible, right? Ideally, you go to the brand, but even still, right? When we talk about approaching brands, approaching and opening accounts, it's always a good idea to start with the brand, and even if you get that no, follow up with it. Understand timing maybe not right. Can you refer to any other distribution companies that we could potentially buy from, right?
Mhm.
Because even then, you're still one iteration, ideally, or two from the brand, and that connection's way more straightforward.
Yeah. So Pete, when you're a beginner, the last thing you should be worried about is the low inventory fees, man. You gotta get the ball rolling a little bit. However, buying 1 to 2 of something will never really make sense to FBA just based on shipping costs. You should totally FBM those items specifically.
Yeah, you also don't pay that on anything you sold less than 20 of in the last week, which is going to be not very many arbitrage products until you know what you're doing. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Better to do a couple items FBM. Yeah. So test FBM and then stock in deep FBA is the general best practice there. So you can test it way quicker. It's still on sale. It's still out at the local retail store. You go buy the rest of it, kind of thing.
It's such a luxury to be starting nowadays because, again, like we've been talking about, you can test 10, 15 different SKUs FBM and then just iterate, right? You buy 2 here, 5 there, 7 there, and then you let the market dictate your reorders. You sell the 2 in the first couple days, right? Then you order 10. You sell those 10 in another couple days. Then you order 20 or 30 or 40, right? And you let the market kind of dictate and validate those products. The alternative is you send everything to FBA. Well, you gain that same sort of feedback, but it's 3 months delayed, 2 months delayed. And so either the sale doesn't exist, the same market doesn't exist, right? The price is going up, the price is going down. Your iterations, your feedback loop is so much slower when you're FBAing everything. When in the beginning, you just need that validation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all of us do, Dave Mad. Check the links in the description if you're interested in that. Right there. How was the feeling quitting that 9 to 5, knowing you'll never have to go back to it? Well, you gotta pay rent every day in respect to proving that you can, right? So like obviously, you know what I mean, it is a very, very difficult task to be able to run your own business every day, and you're required to perform as a man in 2024 every day to make that happen and protect that freedom.
What will the first month of Amazon FBA be like when it comes? So the first month is going to be
Shitload
super
of boxes.
uninteresting.
Boxes,
right?
ungating questions, and lonely.
You're gonna buy a bunch of stuff. You're not going to get paid for any of it until like another month, right? That's again why we're continuing to reiterate that as a beginner, it just makes so much sense to FBM because that feedback loop, right? Because if you think about FBA, you order something, all right, it gets 2 to 3 days to your house, then you send it into FBA, 2 to 3 weeks, then it's active, right? And then you don't get paid for another 2 or 3 weeks after that. So you're talking about 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, as opposed to a couple weeks for FBM.
Yep.
With
And
the ability to reorder in the same market.
Yeah, and so what a really successful first month looks like is I'd say getting around 10 to 20 different ASINs listed, merch filled, of which about half of them start selling within a week, right? Getting your repricer going, finding a couple other new sellers to build with, which could literally be in the chat. Today specifically too, from what we've seen, like well-connected sellers tend to make a lot more money, have a lot more fun, avoid a lot of mistakes too, and everything pretty much. So that's a good thing. Do we provide receipts or invoices every time we list a product on Amazon or only when they ask? So only the first time for each brand. And then if they ever ask, yes, but that'll be very rare. But keep a detailed spreadsheet with all your order numbers so that if you ever need that documentation, you can easily access it whenever you want, man.
And avoid the $3, the thousand sales a month product that somebody messaged you on Instagram and you're good.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, and one more thing I wanted to mention about, someone asking about the first
Chicken
month.
farm just finished up there.
it's rice hour or something at course.
No, but when somebody asks about like the first month of FBA, right, a lot of that first month should be spent mastering the keepagraph. So analyzing as many products as you possibly can, reading keepagraphs, figuring out what a good keepagraph looks like, and just continuing to build that skill. Because the better you get at reading Keepa, the better you get at sourcing products and making those decisions, the better, or really the more money you're going to make and the quicker you're going to learn.
That's facts right there. That is absolute facts right there.
That's definitely an air fryer beep.
Air
That's
fryer.
definitely
Come on now.
you
Air
got to know
fryers
your
are
appliance
Pete,
beeps.
You should know me better. Come on.
The VA is not cooking for you, Corey?
Huh? The VA is not cooking for me? Might need to put
Mailing it from the Philippines.
What you got in there? Like some rice and some chicken?
I got like a pound of chicken thighs and then rice and the pressure cooker right here.
Are we going with the just all natural chicken? Or are we getting some sugar-free barbecue sauce on there?
We got some barbecue sauce. It's not sugar-free.
Not sugar-free.
A whole lot of cheese.
Whole lot of cheese. Okay, cool.
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Whose beaver is that? Corey's. Yeah, Corey's right there.
You
Is it
gotta
hard
go
to
with
get sales?
the G. Hughes barbecue sauce. So good.
That stuff is good. That stuff's really
It was an
good.
item for a while. It was an item.
Really?
Was
Yeah,
it?
it was. Oh, yeah. It's
Something
been a
random
flip.
like that.
That brand's
I was cooking it from Walmart like a while ago, like a hot minute ago.
That's so funny.
Is it hard to
Also
get
not
sales? Yeah. Is it hard to get sales? No, not really. Like the hard part is finding stuff that is about half of what you're gonna sell it for. Making the sales is that's the goal line. Amazon does that for you.
I only see Corey when seed oil bans are off.
Ooh, that's facts
Man,
right there.
Pete.
That actually is true though. That actually is completely true. Who said that? I don't see that.
Fighting words, Pete.
Pete.
Come on.
Peabody.
Yeah.
It didn't load for me. But
I don't
mean,
think Corey
he's
likes
1,000%
any food
right
more
there.
than his Las Vegas chicken parm.
Oh, I love that thing.
Oh, what's
man.
that place called too?
Missed it
That's
this
what
year.
Sinatra's?
I don't know why I remember that, but yes.
Yeah.
What is
Making it burn his Vegas spots.
how do you determine the percentage of sales on a variation? So I wouldn't really worry about the percent sales just because that's relative to reviews, and reviews don't take into account how long the listing's been around. But if you want to take a look at that, it would be the variations tab on Keepa and filtering by reviews.
Yeah. You can look judge off the last 90 days how fast those are actually increasing.
Okay, friend of the show here with the big that might be the biggest super chat of all time.
I think it is. Yeah.
Right there.
That we've had on Money Monday at least.
So if
We
you're
had
in the
some
chat
big
and you're
ones for your
serious,
birthday a couple of years back.
I was thinking that too. Actually.
I feel like we got a couple 50 bodies or something.
That's facts. If you're in the chat and you're serious, this is the time to take action. You want to have some experience and some people to talk to come December, and no time will be easier to get that investment back than now. That is absolutely 1,000,000% correct right there. Right. That's and because you want to be known so you can have a drink with Tony G at the next Amazon seller meetup too.
Tony dropping those Bezos dollars, giving them right back.
Or a drink or 15, whatever.
When's the next basketball get together? That's actually a good question. Probably like December in PA. Do you guys use Oregon prep centers? Yeah, any sales tax free prep center. Yeah. If you do private label, do you still have to get ungated? No, but you have to create you have to create the brand. So kind of actually low key, right? You know,
it's even worse. It's even worse. Imagine the
exactly.
ungating process.
Exactly. So kind of, right? Yeah. Yeah. Sales tax free prep centers are dope right there. Cool. And we'll be on a couple more minutes, y'all. So let us know any questions too. And also check out the new video I posted today too with cousin Steven. Specifically right there.
If Amazon checks in double the amount you actually sent in, you notify whether they fix it. They usually fix it. Or, you end up with, it all evens out in the long term. You're going to get shorted a bunch. You're going to get extra units. It all evens out.
Yeah, there's been times where, of course, they'll receive less than I actually sent in, so they got to reimburse me. But there's been plenty of times where they'll receive somehow double the amount that we actually sent in. And I know for a fact we didn't send in double, and we'll sell through the units just fine and we'll get the money and it's fine. But so, yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of times it just evens out.
Because Wi-Fi still ass at pickleball.
No, Wi-Fi is getting better. So the score is 18-15.
You let him back in. He went on a little win streak.
I didn't play for 3 weeks. And he was harassing me in the middle of the day to go. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll go. And then he's absolutely harassing me. But yeah, it's 18-15 in the series.
Because wasn't it 17-12, 18-12?
I was gonna win. He stormed out of our last game we played before the hiatus. So that was gonna be a win for me too. But keep submitting the invoice right there. Just SellerAmp and Keepa for product research. SellerAmp and Keepa for product research, BoxSum for shipments and analytics, and many more things.
You don't need that it misses too many good items is the reason why you don't want to. Anything that's automatic finding products is automatically missing the best multi-packs and stuff. Apps for news. Javane. BoxSum, Keepa, SellerAmp, and then a repricer, Be Cool, or any of those.
Yep. Will there be any time you have to handle customer service when selling? Yeah, for FBM occasionally. That is a ridiculously good byproduct of having a shitload of, not good byproduct, but it's a byproduct of having a shitload of FBM orders. So if you have a ton of FBM orders and you have a little customer service to do, so be it. That's completely fine because it means
you're making money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're doing FBA too, we will get customer questions, right? Customers will message you and ask questions about the product or about the shipping or whatever. And we've just built out a super simple template for the most commonly asked questions. Team member just copies and pastes the answer in there and it's done. Right. So at the end of the day, customer service is like, half of 1% of our workload.
Yep.
No tech.
No one's really using it anymore, Pete.
Yeah.
Got run into the ground recently.
How does storefront stocking or finding sales in limited quantities become scalable? You find more of them over time. You get better. You have to put less thought process into finding them. And there's lots of websites that do let you go heavy, right? And obviously that's hard to find, as it should be, right? Otherwise everyone would have a big Amazon business, but you can get pretty good at it over time.
So Toby, I know exactly what I would do in your case, right? He's looking for US based brands whose products are selling on Amazon UK and who may be open to brand exclusivity. So on Smart Scout, open up the seller map and in the bottom left, filter to see the UK marketplace and then hover over the United States. Set the number of brands to the maximum amount and see which US based sellers are selling in the UK marketplace, right? And then in the bottom left, it'll also show you which brands are likely to be private label as in yellow, and the ones in purple are likely to be resellers. So you would just look for those that are, denoted in yellow there and you can call them up. So it's pretty much simple as that. That'd be the easiest way to do it in my opinion.
Yep. What does no BSR mean? It just means there's like a keep a glitch on it basically.
Yeah.
Look at the recent review count and see if it's going up.
Yeah.
Do you guys do Canada? No, Canada totally works. It's just a smaller market. So, you know what I mean? It's just like a significantly smaller market, basically, with that. Cool. All right, guys. Sounds good. So just posted a banger video on my channel. Make sure you follow all these guys on us. So didn't even realize my shit said Uncle Flips right there. You got to update that back specifically too. But yeah, go Giants. Go Giants. How are we doing so far? I'm going to look it up. I have no idea. Let's see. Giants football here. Let's see.
Corey, didn't you go to a football game this weekend?
Yeah, I went to the University of South Carolina this past weekend for the game.
So we're 0-3 right now.
Sweet.
Damn.
Now they won this
game.
They won this weekend. They won this weekend.
Yeah, they're 3-1 now, which is crazy. I didn't think they were going to be or have that good of a start to the season.
Wait, was the game
choked against LSU? Yeah, it was. I mean, it was against Akron, so I knew that USC was going to win, but that was my first time at a USC game or an SEC.
Calling South Carolina USC sounds criminal.
Yeah, I know. I mean, here
USC in Carolina, yeah.
Right, here it is. But
did you go with wifey?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, sweet. See you guys soon. Be great. Check out the new video I just posted and let us know how we can help, guys. Q4 starts next week. Next Monday will be the last day of September. Right there, if I'm doing those days correctly. Be great. Love y'all. See you soon.
Our bet's looking